Yo, yo, yo. What's the YouTube, man? Show boy Mickal, that's aka Sniper Bowman. And today's video, man, we got the biggest bust in NFL history, man. If you're new, man, hit that like button, subscribe, and share, man. Let's get to this video.
I am a person that believes in second chances. I think America is the land of second chances, except for when it comes to this dude, Mr. Jabba the Hutt, you fat, slovenly, no good, lazy. Oh, come on,
Oh my gosh, Stephen A. What in the world could have gone so wrong that we ended up here? From the very beginning in his hometown of Mobile, Alabama, Jamarcus Russell was a big fish in a small pond. Well, I guess you could say he was the biggest. At 6'3", he was already starting for his high school football team as a freshman. Because of his size, athleticism, and having a cannon for an arm, Jamarcus...
Yeah, I gotta say, bro, starting, you're 6'3", and starting as the starting QB as a freshman. That's good right there. Starting as a freshman.
This was already attracting attention from the top college football programs in the country. Another major reason was right out of the gate, he was a winner, leading his team to the state championship as a freshman. And for the next 3 years at Williamson High School, it would be more of the same, Jamarcus playing as a man amongst boys. He became the state's all-time career leader in almost every passing category, with the biggest eye-opening record being his 10,774 career passing yards, an Alabama high school record that still stands today. By the time he was a senior, he had also grown in size.
Y'all gotta understand, that's a lot. 10,000 passing yards.
Measuring in at 6'5" and just a little over 220 pounds. Since he already attracted the top college football programs as a freshman, he was obviously going to be in the top 100 recruits by his senior year, ranking top 5 amongst quarterbacks. Jamarcus had scholarship offers from Auburn, Florida State, Florida, Tennessee, and LSU.
Hold on, my bad, y'all. Fuck you hot. Hot, y'all. Nice. Hey, look. Bro, we play this video before I play this video, man. Make sure, you know what I'm saying, y'all sit there and hit that sub button and like this video, man. We're 2 away from 480, man. Hit that sub button, you feel me? Hit that sub button.
LSU. Out of all the schools he visited, LSU was definitely number 1 because he visited there a total of 6 times, with the most famous recruiting story being him standing on his knees and throwing the ball 70 yards. Nick Saban saw it with his own eyes and thought it was amazing, going on to say he was that type of talent and some of the things he did you simply couldn't coach. Jamarcus committed to LSU on National Signing Day, where he redshirted his freshman year. Just before he was about to get some playing time his sophomore year, there was some bad news involving his family. His uncle Ray Ray, who was a popular radio host in Mobile, announced on air that he was fighting heart disease and would need a heart transplant. This man was a father figure to Jamarcus, and obviously this news took a heavy toll on him personally. After some time had passed, he was able to cope with the news better and continued with his football career. To represent him on the field, he wore a green wristband in his honor, and also did by his play on the field. While he had limited playing time in 2004, by 2005 he was named the starter, throwing for nearly 2,500 yards as well as 15 touchdowns.
Oh, he was there 2004, 2005? Damn, that nigga old.
With a QB rating of 136, not only leading the Tigers to multiple come-from-behind victories, but leading them to a 10-1 regular season record and an SEC championship appearance. With a shot at making the national championship game on the line, LSU would lose to Georgia 34-14.
Damn! And LSU was ranked 3 and they got beat by 13 ranked Georgia?
Despite a disappointing end, it was still a great season for the most part, especially for Jamarcus, but in 2006, he would top that, throwing for just a little over 3,000 yards and 28 touchdowns, as well as having a QB rating of 167. His best moment that season came in a game against Tennessee, where he started off poorly throwing 3 interceptions, but by the end of the game, He led them on a 15-play, 80-yard comeback drive. While that was his best moment during the regular season, his best game came in the Sugar Bowl, throwing and rushing for a combined 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading LSU to a 41-14 win over Notre Dame. He was named the Sugar Bowl MVP, and let's not forget the Manning Award winner, as well as a Davy O'Brien semi-finalist. After a season like that, the next logical move was to make the jump to the NFL. His performance in the scouting combine was off the charts, as teams praised his arm strength and size, as that rare combination would be hard to pass up at number 1. Here's where the problems begin to start. The team with the number 1 pick that season was the Oakland Raiders. The previous season, their offense...
I see why his shit. Now I see why. It was a bust. Nigga went to the damn Raiders. If I was him, I would have went right back to college, nigga. I'm not getting drafted by the damn Raiders. Come on now.
Struggled heavily, being the worst offense in the league, scoring a total of 168 points, which averaged out to 10.5 a game. This put them as one of the worst offenses in NFL history, and this was a team that had Randy Moss at wide receiver. The organization had turned into a poverty franchise at this point, with the final years of Al Davis running the team being filled with nothing but inconsistency amongst the coaching staff and roster, as well as bad play and bad decisions in free agency and the draft. Al Davis viewed Jamarcus as the savior. However, new head coach Lane Kiffin had a different savior in mind, future Hall of Fame wide receiver Calvin Johnson. The night before the draft, Lane Kiffin made...
I said Matthew Stafford. I'm dumb. They're talking about Calvin Johnson.
One final pitch to Al Davis about why they should take Calvin Johnson, but I guess you could say Al Davis already made his decision after watching the Sugar Bowl. With the first pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Jamarcus Russell, quarterback LSU. It seemed like a no-brainer at the time.
3 years from now, you could be looking at a guy who's certainly one of the elite top 5 quarterbacks in this league. Skill level that he has is certainly John Elway-like.
You had analysts saying during the draft he was John Elway-like, and that this was the only quarterback in the draft that you build around. Unfortunately, after drafting him, there were already problems.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online.
Bro, these stupid ads, man.
Positive for codeine after the 2007 draft, a substance he first used when as a kid he accidentally drank a soda with codeine in it and didn't report to all of training camp and preseason. Yeah, after failing to reach a contract agreement, he held out through all of training camp and into the first week of the NFL season. He hasn't taken a snap and already the fan base was livid. Eventually, they would reach an agreement where he signed a 6-year deal worth up to $68 million with $31.5 million guaranteed.
Damn, he finessed them. 6 years and 31's guaranteed. Yeah, that nigga finessed them.
Once he joined the team, he was still required to do his rookie show performance. In it, all he did was show up with a backpack full of money and threw it all over the place.
More free cash for everyone. What is my life?
As the Raiders struggled through the season, Russell wouldn't make his first professional appearance until early December. In the final week of the season, he made his first NFL start, completing 23 of 31 passes for 224 yards, along with 1 touchdown and 1 interception, with a QB rating of 91.3. Not bad for your first start, and considering the way the season had began, it was great to finally see that potential on full display. He wasn't going to miss any training camp or preseason in 2008, so everyone assumed he was going to take the next step. Not in this case. The team started 1-3, leading to Lane Kiffin's firing after 4 games, with Al Davis holding a bizarre press conference afterwards, calling out the former head coach for the way he handled Jamarcus Russell, saying, "I realize you did not want to draft Jamarcus Russell. He is a great player. Get over it," and coached this team on the field. that's what you were hired to do. Tom Cable was named interim head coach, and the team continued to struggle, following up a 4-12 season with a 5-11 record. 2008 would turn out to be Russell's best season, starting 15 games and throwing just a little under 2,500 yards, along with 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and a QB rating of just a little over 77. But a stat that stands out the most was his 12 fumbles. The organization and fans
12 fumbles? This nigga had 12 fumbles? That's crazy.
were hoping for major improvement in year 3. Unfortunately for Jamarcus Russell, his personal life would take a turn for the worse. 4 months after the season, his uncle Ray Ray, who had moved to Oakland to live with Jamarcus, would pass away from heart disease. That was on April 17th. Exactly 3 months later, in July, Russell's uncle Mike died suddenly from a heart attack. Obviously, football was the last thing on his mind. However, less than a week later, he reported to training camp. Russell never told the team about him struggling with the deaths of his uncles, but the team never asked as well. Once he reported, it became clear right away that he wasn't ready to play, weighing in at exactly 305 pounds. With everything he was going through in such a short period of time, he just didn't care anymore. So while the Stephen A. Smith Mr. Jabba the Hutt ya fat slob quote is the funniest of all time to some, just remember the context. We're not only human at the end of the day, but we all handle tragic situations differently. But still, with all of the guaranteed money he had received and being the first overall pick with so much expectations, the organization and the fan base were very disappointed. Not only did he have weight problems, but the work ethic never got any better. There was a famous story where one of the coaches handed him a DVD to watch film on a specific team. The next day, Russell returns to the facility and the coach asked him if he watched the film. He tells him yes, he's ready to go. Then the coach reveals
it was a blank DVD. So he didn't watch the DVD, but yet he told everybody, oh, y'all watched it, I did. And that's when I think they kind of knew, like, uh-oh, we're in trouble.
He wasn't watching film? And they gave him a blank CD to see if, like, nah, that's crazy.
The 2009 season turned out to be the worst of his career, starting in a total of 9 games, throwing for a little over 1,200 yards, along with 3 touchdowns, but 11 interceptions and a QB rating of 50. By that point, the Raiders had enough. During the offseason, they traded for Washington Redskins quarterback Jason Campbell, and in early May, the Raiders officially released Jamarcus Russell. Hopes of a second chance in the NFL were quickly thrown away when Russell was arrested at his Mobile, Alabama home for being in possession of codeine syrup without a valid prescription. His career in the NFL ended with a total of 4,083 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 23 interceptions with a QB rating of 65.2. Certainly a far cry from what was expected just 3 years earlier. If you were to ask football fans who the biggest bust in NFL history is, it's usually a toss-up between Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell. It's such a shame because if you watched him play in college, he was something special. Because of multiple factors which included his codeine use, which he never meant to start in the first place, as well as his eating habits and his poor work ethic, Jamarcus
hear that? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like he was drafted by the wrong team. I feel like he was drafted by the wrong team. I feel like he was drafted any other team, I think he would have been one of the best. He got drafted by the Raiders, and people know once you go to the Raiders, you don't really.
Marcus Russell was never going to cut it in the NFL. You also have to put some blame towards the Raiders front office for not doing their due diligence and fully scouting him. Lane Kiffin saw it from a mile away, and perhaps drafting Calvin Johnson could have quickly changed the trajectory of that franchise. Today, Jamarcus Russell is living his best life in Mobile, Alabama. He made his money, fixed his personal issues, settled down around family and friends, and even coached high school football at one point or another. While he didn't didn't meet the expectations in the NFL, football's just a game. Life's more important, and today he looks content and at peace. But of course, when you bring up his professional career, he is certainly one of the biggest busts in NFL history. But funny enough, according to the man himself, you might as well call him the biggest.
I must have been the best to be the biggest, right? I'll say my shit didn't turn out how I would want it to, or not how they expected it to. If you're gonna call me a bust, like you say, put the biggest on that motherfucker, man.
Well, I feel like he could have been one of the best if he wasn't really drafted by the Raiders, and the Raiders didn't help him anyways. Like, the Raiders didn't even help him. You feel me? I mean, that was a pretty good video, man. If like the video, comment down below what other videos y'all want me to do, man. It's been your boy Mickal. I'm out.